Welcome to The Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler, powered by Coolbet Canada.
All right, it is 11:03 on The Lock Shop. Dusty with you. Huss going to be sliding in here right away as well. If you're listening on Edmonton Sports Talk, of course, you can text us anytime, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. We'll give you a chance to get in the mix for a VIP table to the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival. We are now giving away the Sunday VIP table, Bert Kreitzer, Whitney Cummings. So we will get into that. And we also will take our next qualifier for the $100,000 hole-in-one for Golf Town. So we will get into that as we work our way through the show today as well. And if you're watching over on YouTube, let's hammer the thumbs up. That would be great. And hell, even share the channel. I see a little share button. Why not share the channel to your socials or your Facebook or something like that? Hey, we could definitely go there. And there's Pete Greggy. I was waiting for him. Slides into the nasty chat. Bryson! Emoji, money face, tongue, and cash bag. Huss, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man?
Oh, I don't even know where to start today, man.
What a day we have.
Listen, shout out to Pat, who has been carrying the load.
Oh, my goodness.
In the Lock Shop golf-wise. I mean, between the Greggy's golf specials, another outright, Pat is killing it. And thank God we have Pat around, because I'm on a bit of a cooler right now. Listen, nothing was more indicative of my recent luck than losing the Ticats last night.
Oh, no doubt.
Late in the game. It was the one thing I was going to take from this weekend. A 4-0 record against the spread in the CFL. Cashing a nice parlay. No, I cannot have nice things. But listen, as pissed off as I was about that, and all of my golf outrights and everything else that didn't hit, seeing what Rory McIlroy did yesterday put it all into perspective.
It could be worse.
It could be worse. Dusty, like, I feel terrible because I think in 10 years, I mean, who knows where golf goes from here and what happens with Bryson's career, because I think he's going to win a number of them. But I don't think anyone is going to think back of Pinehurst and think, oh, that was when Bryson hit that incredible bunker shot and won the tournament.
Yeah.
No. We're going to be thinking about 2 putts in the final 3 holes. This is on the level of Van de Velde. This is on the level of Greg Norman. This arguably, because of the way that it happened, it was 2 short putts. We could be talking about the worst choke. And again, recency bias, but honestly, I have all morning, I've been trying to think of any chokes that compare to this by a person as accomplished as Rory McIlroy. And I'm at a loss for it. I feel sick for the guy, and I didn't even have a ticket on him. Like, yeah. I would have been at the freaking Osborne Bridge dangling, saying, do I go? Do I not go? If I actually had a significant Rory future. Happy for Pat, happy for all the Bryson backers out there, but I cannot get over this. And I mean, I guess we can get into him blowing it off, blowing the me off afterwards, but what the hell was he going to say?
Man, but him sitting there in that room with like the US Open table, and you can just see. And then like on top of all of it, and we'll get to some of the numbers and how rare it was for what happened with him. But Bryson puts his drive out under a tree next to a branch, and Rory's got to be thinking, okay, there's an outside shot here that he could bogue, and we could be going to a playoff. Then he puts the next one in the bunker, and you're like, I got to get up and down. It's not going to be super easy. And then he throws that bunker shot out of there just absolutely perfectly, and what are you supposed to do? And then the heart just breaks even more with Rory. I couldn't, like, I got home. I was in Vancouver. I got home, did some Father Day stuff, and then Tam and the kids and I kind of sat down and watched the back nine. And when that one lipped out on 18, buddy, I was just, I couldn't believe it. I was like, no bloody way did that just happen. I mean, it was, and for it to happen like earlier too, like what he missed 2 from basically 3 feet.
Well, yeah, on 16, I believe it was 15 or 16.
I think it was 16. It was 16 and 18.
16, he missed a 2-foot 11-inch putt. And up until that point,
do you see that number?
Season,
yeah, that's insane.
479 for 479 under 3 feet. And for it to happen then, and like, I don't know, like, okay, so I was already, like, I was just emotionally pulling for Rory. I like the guy. He's been through so much.
Yeah, I've always liked him too. That one hurt.
Easy guy to cheer for. And I was apoplectic when he missed that first putt. I mean, how the hell does that happen? But on 18, and I guess that last one was about a foot longer.
Yeah, I said 3.9. I thought they said 3.9. Yeah.
Okay, 3.9. And I vividly remember looking at the television, seeing him line that putt up. And like Smiley had just said, this is basically a straight putt or maybe slightly left to right, but you do not want to give up the hole. And if you saw him lining it up, I mean, it looked like from the direction that his putter was on the golf ball, just with the shot, that like he was lining it up outside. Like the first one, he just sort of pulled it. That one, it almost like he psyched himself out from what happened earlier.
Well, and that might have been a part of it, buddy.
Like that. Listen, everything going through his head at that point. Everything going through his head. And again, and here's the funny thing. If Rory makes his putt on 18, and again, this is fun revisionist history, I don't know whether Bryson is able to get up and down from that bunker. And I know there's no correlation. There's one guy doing thing, but I think having Rory having already missed gave Bryson the opportunity to really go for it, knowing that the worst case scenario for him was a playoff. Very different when you're like, okay, I have to get this up and down just to stay alive. But I'll tell you what, I mean, Bryson deserved it. He was a magician in getting out of trouble. He
was in a lot of trouble.
Well, he was. And by the way, the other funniest part about the whole thing was the fact that Bryson DeChambeau was on commentary. And for folks that maybe don't follow this that closely, Bryson DeChambeau is the ultimate PGA Tour guy. He's on the Golf Channel, one of their top commentators, and has been the biggest critic of Live Golf, the players that went to Live from the get-go. And the disdain he had for Bryson throughout the event, like he would call a good shot, but he kept on saying Bryson has been so fortunate. He kept on saying that. Basically said the guy is lucky every single time he puts it into the native area. He said, look, the other time, what was his line? He goes, oh, Bryson's put it in there. It's usually surrounded by 4-leaf clovers wherever he finishes up. I mean, he couldn't. I would have loved to have had just a shot on Chambly's face.
Just a full-blown meltdown.
Rory putts missed. The Rory putts missed and the one Bryson went in. I mean, what an all-time U.S. Open, though. And I know apparently tomorrow, there was a report that this was going to happen last week. They've kind of couched it. It's going to come up that they've signed some sort of framework agreement moving forward that will maybe end this standoff between the PGA Tour and Live Golf. I mean, my takeaway from this is we need these guys going at it more often.
Oh, yeah.
But to be honest, even if it's a Live event, even if it's a regular Tour event, this was a major championship. This was the toughest test in golf. And even if you told me that, oh, Bryson's good to go and he's in the Travelers this week and Rory went and beat Bryson in the Travelers, it's still not going to matter until he's able to do it in a major. And like, how much scar tissue does what happened yesterday build up for Rory? I mean, the guy's still one of the best in the world. He's always there. He's always in the mix. But, man, to lose that way, choking away those 2 putts, 3 feet, 4 feet, like, I honestly don't know what this means for Rory going forward. I mean, again, regular tour events, no problem. FedEx Cup, he'll probably win it. Well, actually, Scotty's going to probably win it. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But everything else gets thrown out the window when you are between the ropes in a major championship. And we saw it in spades yesterday. And this is like, I'm sure you guys talked about chokes on the show this morning. Like, can you think of anything for some, like Feinberg texted me today, and I'm like, there's people that blow it that you don't know who they are, and that's what you remember them. Rory's won 4 majors. He's been a Hall of Famer. Like, can you think of anyone that just
choked that badly when they're that big on that stage, right? Yeah.
And like playing so well to get in the position to make those shots and then to blow it.
It's a good question, actually.
Yeah,
I mean, it's got to be up there.
Ever, like Bill Buckner blowing the ground ball in the '86 World Series. Like, but I mean, that's one play of a player that, you know, you do that routinely all the time. You probably should make that. I mean, I guess you could maybe make a bit of a comparison, but Bill Buckner's not Rory McIlroy.
No.
He was just some guy that had a good career, but that's always remembered for that. I like the Florida Panthers could lose the next 3 games of the Cup. Rory would have choked more than the Panthers did.
That's how bad it was, especially because he played so bloody good in that round to put himself in that spot, right? Like he was freaking automatic for the first 14 holes on Sunday. And then it just sort of
10 and 11. I mean, he was sinking like 35, 40 footers.
Yeah, well, he hit 4 from 14 feet out on that day. And then he misses one from inside 3 feet, another one from inside 4 feet that cost him at least a playoff. Justin Ray, who's a great follow for golf information. Justin Ray Golf is where you can find him, just at Justin Ray Golf. Rory McIlroy is the first player in U.S. Open history to finish alone in second place, 1 shot back in back-to-back years. And what is it, like 7 straight top 10s at the U.S. Open? Can't win one. It's rather remarkable. Now, on the other side of it, Huss, you did say, like, you know, we should look back on these and remember that chip shot coming out of the sand by Bryson. And I think they will be linked together, obviously, forever. I'll remember both. The collapse, the missed putts, and then the shot from Bryson. But just the Bryson 180 continues, man. Like, it was just, that's another question. When was the last time you saw somebody's image or reputation change as much as DeChambeau's has in the last three years? Like, he went from the most hated man in golf to like everybody's fan favorite now. It's wild.
The only time I can think of such a big 180, and it's the exact opposite direction.
The other way.
Is when Michael Vick got busted for the dog fighting.
Yeah. Different circumstances.
He went from the number 1, the face of the NFL, the most popular player on Madden, to a scourge spending time in Leavenworth Federal Maximum Security Penitentiary. Listen, the Bryson show, like, he was always must-see when he was on the tour before. You know, when he was drinking all the protein shakes.
Well, and he was jacked and yeah.
And he's so interesting. Like, if you are actually really into golf, like the things he does with equipment and the way he looks at the game and the edges that he tries to get. I mean, it's all fascinating. But he was sort of what can I say? He had no self-awareness. He wanted to be liked so hard. And he was sort of that try-hard guy that turned a lot of people off. Fast forward to now. He has embraced it. Listen, what he's been able to do with his YouTube channel and things like that has made him far more relatable. But at the end of the day, he is a performer. He is a showman. He feeds off of the crowd and the love that he's getting. And the fact that it sort of turned around and so many people are behind him, I think has emboldened him even more. And listen, I get it was Father's Day. He lost his father. He mentioned that when he won the tournament a couple years ago. The guys on his live team are always telling him, stop trying to find a girlfriend on Instagram. He's a single guy. I don't know how many real friends he has. Like, he's got people around him, his team and all of that. But it was actually so cool to see him win the championship. Like any other guy, Scotty Scheffler wins. He's like, thank you very much. Thanks for the fans. Meredith, where's the baby? Let's go. Bryson stayed there for 3 hours. Let every single person touch the trophy. Just started rolling up the live hits with various media
grabbing
outlets.
the mic and hosting. It was great.
Yeah, the bit with Johnson Wagner hitting that same shot in the dark to about 1.5 feet was absolutely amazing. But you know what? I kind of, like so many people, I've really come around on Bryson. And listen, as a fan of golf, and you know me, like I'm not a big live hater. I hate the fact that they all left and it's ruined golf the way that it is, the way that it was, and we don't get to see these guys on all the time. But there's a bunch of things about the live tour that I really like. I think it's less stuffy. I like the fact that they get to wear shorts. I mean, I don't care much for the 3 rounds or the shotgun start or anything like that, but I totally understand some of the things that they are doing. But the ability to let the players be their own brands, to branch out, and no one's done a better job of that than Bryson. And his PR team deserves an incredible amount of credit. I think a lot of it is genuine coming from Bryson. But he's created, and I'll tell you what, here, as someone that, has also is not I don't have a lot of sympathy for Taylor Gooch, who wasn't in the tournament and, didn't try to qualify. Well, guess what? You knew exactly what you were signing up when you went there, when you went for, and if you wanted to get in like Sergio, go and qualify. The one thing that is inexcusable is the Olympics. The U.S. Olympic Committee just getting into bed with the tour and saying, hey, we're just going to go with the official world golf rankings and not taking Bryson DeChambeau is an absolute joke. Like, the Olympics are not tied to the PGA Tour, or they shouldn't be at least. And I mean, if the Ryder Cup can pick Brooks last year for their team, how in the world is Bryson not representing the United States? You're going to get Wyndham Clark instead of Bryson DeChambeau?
I mean, nothing against Wyndham Clark. He's played some good golf. But, I mean, Bryson DeChambeau brings eyes to the event.
Well, and listen, you want to take golf. I mean, part of being in the Olympics is the exposure that you get from having, your top players there. Oh, how about that? Can you imagine Rory and Bryson? The Olympics, that would be the one thing. Like if Bryson was in the Olympics and all of a sudden it was coming down and it was Rory and Bryson for a gold medal.
Oh, my God.
That would be the only thing. That would be the only thing that could compare to any of the major championships because it's not a regular tour event.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Could you imagine that for a gold medal? Bryson and Rory.
If there's any recourse that they can have, they can step in and say, actually, you know what? We're picking this guy. He just won the U.S. Open. He won our national championship.
Yeah. He
is clearly one of the top couple golfers in the world right now. We're here to win medals. Bryson's on the team. Like, I don't know enough about how the U.S. sets it. They had their criteria, and he basically is not there. Although he's back into top 10 in the world, just based on his major championship performances this year, which tells you all you need to know.
He shows up. There's no doubt about it at the majors. He has been excellent. Cash over on he's a crack pack guy. He's in the nasty chat. He says, hey, Dusty, I listed that Bryson. I pulled a Bryson rookie auto jersey for him a while back. He says, Dusty, I listed that Bryson rookie jersey auto you pulled for me in one of those breaks on eBay a few weeks ago, and I got no bites. I just listed it again a couple of days ago, and there's a legit bidding war for it right now. So it just, I mean, that's
what sort of scratch are we talking about? Like,
I don't know. I don't know what that would be. That's a good point. Cash, what's that going for right now? I wonder if you listed it on an eBay. I can probably look it up myself. But yeah, but that just goes to show. I mean, that's kind of the card world. When somebody's hot, things start moving for you. But yeah, that's just how it is with this guy right now. So I'm excited to see more of him. And yeah, I was a little torn because, you know, in the whole Brooks Bryson battle back in the day, I was definitely on Brooks' side. I was like, what a clown Bryson is. But I just love the fact that he's gone to live and just been able to use some of that freedom to to turn his image and the way we view him around. So I'm watching yesterday. I've always been a Rory guy, though. I love Rory, and I was just like, so when he missed, I was like, damn it. But then I saw Bryson win, and I was like, oh, good for him. Like it was. I think that's probably how a lot of people were feeling yesterday. It was. The
crazy thing was, if you recall, like Rory's miss of 3 feet wasn't 5 minutes after Bryson had missed a 4.5 footer.
I know.
That all of a sudden gave Rory the two. That would have been on 12. That gave Rory the 2-shot lead. Bryson then got the birdie on 13, like most guys did, and then it was just a white knuckle ride to the finish. And Rory couldn't hit the fan. Rory could not hit those 2 putts. How soon is the Open Championship? It can't come soon enough. I think it's mid next month. But it does suck that we're not even at Canada Day, and there's only one more major. Like moving the PGA.
It is weird. Yeah, you're right. Like we're sitting here August, September. Nothing. I was kind of sad, actually, when we were previewing the U.S. Open last week. I was sitting here. I remember I was watching you and Patty go off. You guys are cooking on picks. And I'm sitting here going, man, we're almost done with majors. Like, that sucks.
It does.
Mind you, I don't mind the playoffs. I've come around on them.
Oh, yeah. It's great.
No, I like the system.
In 2024,
yeah,
like for sure. Like, listen, the Memorial was amazing. Like, we've had some great tournaments, but I mean, we need Bryson. We got to have Bryson in there. And never mind. I mean, like, I'm just going to pull this up. I mean, as far as live overall goes, like, great that Bryson's doing it. Bryson's the outlier right now because most of the other live guys have been coming up small in these tournaments. Shout out to Tony. Tony Finau had a great tournament. He birdied 18 to get to 4. And I'm like, the way these guys are coming in,
might be coming back to you.
Yeah. In a playoff. And Hideki was pretty good. He was -2. He was certainly in the mix. Gave us something to look at. But we have to go down to it was Sergio. Sergio was the next top live guy at +1. Tyrrell Hatton must have just exploded in the final round. Yeah, he was 7 over for his final round.
Yeah, because he was up there for a while. So yeah, he clearly fell off.
Brooks was T26. But for the most part, there wasn't a lot of live on the scoreboard. But you know what? Bryson had enough. He took it all. He took the weight of the entire tour. The Saudis, Greg Norman, put it all on his broad shoulders, and got it done. And thank God Cantlay didn't win. I mean, that's the one thing
that would have sucked.
Everyone would have just been.
Can you imagine Bryson and Rory are going back and forth like that, and they both fall off, and Cantlay ends up winning? Puke in my mouth.
Worst case scenario.
That would have sucked. Let's get to a couple of nasty chats here. Scotty No says, I got to say, my opinion of Bryson has come a long way in like the last 6 months. Watching him on YouTube at first, and now I think he's almost a class act, like WTF. He goes, watching the highlights again today, he was shushing all of his fans after he won so his playing partner could finish his round. Like, I just can't see the old Bryson doing anything like that.
No, well, maybe that just because that's such a part of, being part of golf etiquette, I guess.
Golf etiquette, but that guy could have put it out and left it there for him. I thought that's what should have happened, golf etiquette-wise, but...
Yeah, I was surprised that Pavon. I mean, the thing is, Pavon had
That was a big
I
putt for
guess
him, right? That was a big putt for him because
he did finish in a. Well, because if he had missed that putt, he would have dropped back and been T5 instead of 5 alone. So there definitely was some money on the line for it. But listen, Bryson, like the guys on the tour hated Bryson, and maybe hate's a strong word, but I mean, we all remember Brooks. When Bryson walked by while he was doing the interview and doing that epic eye roll that was viral for a long time. Like, I think that was essentially the way most of the guys felt about Bryson. And I don't know whether he has, like, Alan Shipnuck had a great piece on Bryson and how he's sort of not coming out of his shell, but really thriving on live because he has friends on the Crushers. And, like, even if they're forced to be, he kind of feels like he's part of something and has some other guys to be with, like with Casey and Lahiri and the other guys that are on their team. By the way, I think they're going to be selling a lot of Crushers hats. I texted Pat last night. Pat, now with your big Bryson win, have you ordered a Crushers hat yet? And maybe he will. That Crushers
damn well
logo
better.
He's got the money for it. That Crushers hat, the Crushers logo has grown on me. Thank God. If it was Sergio with that ridiculous Fireballs logo, we'd be having a different conversation right now. But anyways, listen, an amazing tournament, an amazing finish, and the aftermath of this is going to be talked about for years in and around golf. Cannot wait to see Rory the next time he's in front of a microphone, the next time he's in a tournament. But like, what's Rory doing right now?
Well, I thought he's playing this week, isn't he? He's playing this week. So
we'll see.
Well, yeah, I know he was on the list. Eric said today, so yeah.
He might need to take a week off. It's a signature event. I think he's supposed to be there.
P. Greg, you laid this out over in the nasty chat, and then we'll move on. We gotta get to the Stanley Cup final. I want to talk CFL week 2 as well. Patty says, finish this sentence. Bryson is the blank best golfer in the world. What would be that number you put right there, Huss?
I would put. Well, I mean, listen, he beat Rory. I'm going to put him ahead of him yesterday based on that.
Yeah.
So second.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it has to be number 2 if we're looking at what's recently happened. Then Scotty Scheffler's number 1. Obvious, mind you, we haven't talked about Scotty Scheffler, but what a week for Scotty Scheffler at the U.S. Open. Holy smokes.
I mean, listen, this is the sort of tournament that's going to get guys at some point, and if they just don't have their absolute best, you're going to get eaten up by Pinehurst. He was fortunate to make the cut with everything coming back and the 5 making them. He made it on the number.
Yeah.
And just couldn't get it going on Saturday right now. But, I mean, listen, he's the first guy ever since Tiger to win the Masters, the Players, and the Memorial all in the same year. One bad week on a bitch of a golf course is not going to take him out of number 1, in my opinion. But I don't think there's anybody else. I mean, listen, right now you got Xander, you got Rory, but I mean, Bryson he missed by 1 shot to Xander at the PGA and then beat Rory. He was in the mix at the Masters.
Yeah.
He's been.
I mean, on those big stages, man, he's been right there.
Exactly. So he's the guy right now. And I mean, as far as the biggest star in golf, like, we can talk about who's the best player, but Bryson's the biggest star in golf.
There's a little bit of a Happy Gilmore vibe to this guy right now. Right? Like over the weekend, wasn't there the one hole he was apologizing to everybody that he wasn't going to go for it on the par 4? He's just going to lay up instead. He was just like, I guess he was like talking to the crowd. It's just like, no, sorry guys. I think there's a little bit of like with the energy and the crowd interaction, man, there's weird little vibe there right now, which is great. I mean, it's great for golf. I like to see more of them as opposed to back on the live where you can't figure out when and how you're supposed to be watching. So
yeah, Duck Dad. Hey, Duck Dad, just popping in late. What's up, Duck Dad? Any winners cooked up yet? No, we're just
We've just
We're
been talking
still
U.S.
wrapping
Open
our
for
head
32
around
minutes.
What the hell happened yesterday? Hey, speaking of winners, Oilers were winners on Saturday night.
They were winners on Saturday night in impressive fashion.
They're now outscoring Florida in the Cup final.
I think they both have 12 goals. Do they both have 12? Or do the I thought I did the math yesterday. I think they're both exactly at 12 goals. We've had the big conversation all day here, and we'll have it again on the oil stream coming up here in about 28 minutes on Edmonton Sports Talk today. But do you think it's different the way they won? I know it's just a win is a win is a win in the playoffs, but you chase Bobrovsky. Like, from the Panthers' perspective, whatever. It's a loss. You reset. You're going home. Should be fine. But I think the Oilers, who've been struggling to find offense, to chase Bobrovsky, to bury 8, to get some of your big guys going, to get a Dylan Holloway going, I think it's a lot bigger for Edmonton than it was, defeating for the Florida Panthers, in my opinion. The confidence level that they must have coming out of that game has got to be able to carry some of that over, I would think, to Game 5.
Yeah, for Florida, it's whatever. For Edmonton, I think it's huge. Like, the amount of guys that are feeling a little bit better about themselves after getting on the score sheet and playing the way they did. And, of course, I mean, to your point, getting to Bob. Like, I tweeted last night, Bob was so overdue to get lit up that it was nice that it happened. And, I think if anything, the Oilers know, hey, we can beat these guys. It just sucks that they didn't get Game 1, because I mean, if this was 2-2, we'd be saying series on. However, you'll enjoy this, as will all ESTers and Oiler fans. I sent this to Remus late on Saturday night. I go, hey Reem, could Paul Maurice, the losingest coach in NHL history, have saved his greatest feat of losing for the Cup final after being up 3-0? How about that?
Yeah. Wouldn't that?
Like, there's probably some people going, how could you even bring that up, Huss? It's terrible for the Maurice fans. But he hasn't done it before. He's come close.
Yeah.
I'm not suggesting that it's going to happen, but I'll tell you what, you win that game tomorrow somehow and get this series back to Edmonton. That building will be absolutely nuts on Friday for Game 6. And anything goes. The 3-0 has happened once before in the Cup final. So go and play a hockey game and see if you can win. Like, just get this thing back. Find a way to bring it back. And they always say, and I know this is all cliche, the hardest one to win is the final one. But they say that because it's true. And I think they found out. Panthers minus 137 favorites. Yeah. Oilers plus 116 on the money line. And we were comparing the two teams that were down. That were down 3-0 in the finals. The Mavs, when they were down, were 20-1. The Oilers, when they were down, were 10. Oilers are now 7-1 to come back and win this series. And again, two are on the road. It's unlikely. It's going to be very tough. Chances are it's over tomorrow, but they still got to get it done. And to your point, I think the Oilers go in feeling themselves a lot more than they had been before. And what was the story? Every time Edmonton had lost 3 in a row,
it was
they followed it up with winning streaks of like 8, 6, 4 games.
Yeah, every one of their sustained winning streaks this season. I saw it. I know it was on Sportsnet, but Darren DuPont actually texted me this Friday morning at like 7:20. The Oilers, they won 4 in a row, 7 different times this season. 4 times during the 16-game winning streak, and then 2 times during the 8-game winning streak, and then another time. But every time they went on to win 4 straight, it was after losing 3 in a row. So, yeah, every time they won 4 in a row this year, it was after losing 3 in a row. So you tie in that, and then the big offensive outburst. And man, I'm telling you, man, they might have to physically remove the lid off of Rogers Place for Game 6 if that thing's coming back here. because that'll be absolutely insane on Friday night here in Edmonton. It'll be bloody nuts, absolutely nuts. So yeah, we'll see how it is with Florida. We're gonna get into it on the oil stream a little bit today. A few of their guys didn't skate today, but Paul Maurice said they are all good to go. And the Oilers feeling pretty loosey like you. They got the one now. Now they're feeling good about it. All of the pressure in the world is on the Florida Panthers at this point. But Florida's been a great hockey team all year. They've bounced back well as well, and they're going home here. So not going to be an easy task. I agree with Rashog. Rashog on our show this morning basically said this is going to be the best game of the series no matter what. Like, Florida is going to bring everything they got. We already see how Edmonton plays when their backs are right up against the wall. So game 5 tomorrow should be just absolutely bloody outstanding. I cannot wait to watch that hockey game.
Did Rashad get his luggage?
His cameraman didn't get his luggage. Or all they're missing is lights. So if you see Rashog on TSN today and he doesn't have proper lighting, that's why. Air Canada still has their lights. So what a nightmare for traveling between Florida and Edmonton. Hey, you did mention NBA just quickly. I mean, as far as games we can ride with tonight, 7 points. You think the Mavs covered? Do you think they win, or do you think they at least cover the 7? I think the Celtics take care of business in convincing fashion tonight, but that's just me.
Yeah, I think if Boston wins, it's double digits. It's sort of like victory lap in the fourth quarter. I think we'll know in the first half as to whether Boston is going to step on the throat. Otherwise, I did see this was 6.5. It's gone to 7 now. I tend to lean on as much as I want the Mavericks to win, and I'd love to see that series go back to Dallas. It just feels like it's time. Boston, like, they didn't even show up for that game. Like, I know it's amazing how similar the two series were.
It's pretty crazy, yeah.
Game 4, like the two teams in the Mavs and Oilers that just didn't have anything going their way, absolutely slaughter their opponents with the championship trophy in the building, and now have to go do it again on the road. I give the Oilers a better chance, shall we say, than the Mavericks to extend the series.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna basically lay the points with the Celtics tonight. Minus 263 on the money line, but
Celtics minus 7. I think that's a play. They've been a great team, wire to wire, all bloody year. They've just been outstanding. So, quickly, I want to go back. Coolbet hotline of the day today on the Nielsen Show. I am by no means a Euro 2024 expert, but we did decide to make it the Coolbet hotline of the day today. France to win and Mbappe to score, minus 103. I think it was like plus 103 earlier this morning, so that line's moved a little bit, but it was plus 105, I think. Mbappe to score and France to win. The boys here were Trev's been sitting out there on the couch watching Slovakia-Belgium pretty much the entire game. He's like, oh my God, what a save. He's really loving it. And then obviously this morning, Matty Iwanek wearing his Ukraine jersey, and they end up losing 3-0, I think was the final. So he was a little frustrated. But if you're looking for something to put a wager on, France minus 156 against Austria today. And if you like Mbappe to score, he's never scored in Euro play. So Mbappe to score, France to win, minus 103.
I'm actually going to take the plus 171 France minus a goal on the 3-way.
Okay.
So they got to win by 2 in that matchup. And I mean, granted, I don't know a lot about Austria, but I will say that I've got my $25 free bet. Perfect.
I love when you're surprised by things on Coolbet. It's great. Look at this.
I forgot. I guess I wasn't logged in before. But yeah, and of course, and just to give you an idea about how cold I am, by the way, feel free to fade that pick. If anyone just wants to go on, why do I have a $25 free bet? Well, I always bet a UFC pick. I picked a minus 200 favorite.
Oh no.
Lost. So, but that's the beauty of the one UFC bet a week, is you get a chance to redeem it. You get it back. And I'm putting that on France, minus 1 on the 3-way. So have to win by 2, plus 171 And I guess I'm a France guy now for this Euro, because last week I did take, I think it was plus 1150 or so, France to win and Mbappe to have the most goals.
Oh, there we go.
So let's see. Win, Mbappe scores, maybe he scores a couple. We can all win this one. France off to a nice start. By the way, right now, Slovakia up on Belgium in the 84th minute. 1-0. I saw Lukaku had scored, but they took it off the board.
Did he?
VAR.
Oh, man.
VAR.
VAR strikes again.
Slovakia is holding on right now. While we're looking at this, the early games tomorrow, Turkey and Georgia. Turkey minus 133. I think I like Turkey. Portugal versus Czechia. Portugal minus 189, a draw plus 345, Czechia plus 570, and then the late game. Oh, no, there's only 2 games tomorrow. Oh, sorry. No, there's an early game tomorrow. Before that, early, 8 a.m. for us, 7-0 your way, Croatia and Albania. And that, to me, is Croatia all day. Croatia minus 208 on the 3-way. Plus 137, minus 1 on the 3-way. And then the following day, we've got some good games. Germany, Hungary, Scotland, Switzerland, Slovenia, and Serbia. And, of course, Thursday, Canada. I was just going through my World Cup stuff, figuring out a couple good outfits to wear later on this week for the red and white going up against Canada. Got a nice Canada soccer golf shirt. I think I'll throw it in the lock shop that day.
Excellent.
But, and Iwanek's going. Man, I'm so jealous.
Maddie's leaving. That's like the first 3 days he's been away since we launched Edmonton Sports Talk. So we either get through it without him and I fire him when he gets back, or he comes back. We've been a mad mess. We're all laying around here everywhere, and he gets a raise. I mean, it's one thing or the other. I don't know. Well, we'll have to see how it goes. But he's excited. Yeah, he's going down direct flight from FlyYAG down to Atlanta to watch Canada take on Argentina in like a once-in-a-lifetime moment for Matty. So there's no way he was going to miss it. So I think
funny.
Yeah, him and his dad are going. It's going to be good.
We have we got the direct flight from Winnipeg to Atlanta too, which is interesting. And a bunch of buddies are heading down for this one and going to it. I didn't realize it was the first game of the entire tournament.
Oh, is it the first game of the whole event?
This is the kickoff of the entire event.
Wow.
It's Thursday night.
That'll be fun then. That'll be fun for everybody.
Thursday night. While we're looking at it, let's just see where we're at here. Canada. Oh, we're only a plus 10-25 underdog in that game. Not bad.
Got to get on that.
plus 430 for the draw and minus 323 for Argentina. And that's the 3-way. What is the draw no bet? Argentina minus 1163, Canada plus 680. Holy smokes. Hey, Jays, a couple of big wins on the weekend.
Yeah, they're getting going. I want to talk CFL too. We got to recap week 2 in the Canadian Football League here as well. But yeah, the Jays, the Jays might be back to respectability by the time we're done talking hockey here in Edmonton. And that'll be fun for me. Miss the bad part of their season and hop on board when Jake's not losing his mind anymore.
They can get to 500 tonight. They can get to 500 tonight. And you know what? They're playing the Red Sox. The Red Sox are only 2 games above 500. Kikuchi's on the bump going up against Pavetta.
And we got to roll with your boy, don't we?
Yeah, I think so. Minus 133. Minus 133 for the Jays at home. And that's this series where they're playing Cleveland, Boston. So the fact that they were able to get those last couple wins against the Guardians was huge. And hopefully we'll make that happen. But yes, let's quickly, before I go, CFL on the weekend. As I said, I had Hamilton. Of course, I did last night. I just looked in the picks. I was the only guy that took Hamilton as well.
You were? That would have been a big swing, buddy. Huge swing.
Huge swing. I mean, listen, I'll take 3-1, but I was just, credit to the Riders. They found out Trevor Harris is looking good. You did 2 games on the weekend. How was 50?
He was good, man. And they did not dial it back because kids were in attendance. Like, they had about 7 or 8 ladies out there in tight red leather clothing with their butts hanging out. And they were grinding all over it. At one point, there was like a mini sort of little lap dance on 50, and he was just loving it. It was awesome. I love 50 Cent. So it was exciting. It was fun to see. Put on a really good show. Went for about 35 minutes, popped up into the owner's box, and then flew out a little bit later because he did a show at midnight in Vegas, same day. So it was a busy day for old 50 Cent. Still grinding out some shows is 50 Cent. So he was. It was good. I thought it was really fun. I mean, obviously some people were going to leave after the concert, but it was still a really good crowd for that game, and it being a hell of a football game too. And the one here in Edmonton was a great football game too. So I got to call a couple good games over the weekend. It was pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Listen, I was out of my mind. I was down at Hooters on Friday night looking at just the why is that guy so happy? Nothing, just a nice backdoor cover by the Elks.
Big time backdoor cover. They were driving the field there with like 4 minutes left, and MBT throws that interception on the 5, and you're just like, oh my God. Like, it's just I think the Elks have actually played relatively well through the first 2 games of the season, but they don't know how to win. Like, as a group, they just only know how to lose right now, and things don't get easier. They got Toronto, then they get BC, and then they go bye week. So they got to somehow find a way to win at least one of those 2, or else you're rolling into bye week 0-4 again, Huss, which just can't fly. I mean, that's just not going to cut it.
No, and you know where that doesn't fly, especially? Winnipeg.
Yeah.
And we got a team that's 0-2. Hosting the BC Lions, who came in here and smashed the Bombers at the beginning of last season, if you will recall. Are you doing that game?
I'm doing that game. That's my game this weekend.
Excellent. And then the Bombers Bombers are in Calgary in week 4, and then home to Ottawa in week 5. So, I mean, there's a lot of they're banged up too. I mean, we'll probably usually we get these lines on Tuesday or later on tonight, so we'll go over them tomorrow when they.
Let's play a game of guessing.
Oh,
hey, let's do that. I got the matchups here. Ottawa, Montreal. Okay. In Montreal.
I say Alouettes -6.
Okay, I was going to say 5, so we're right around there. BC at Winnipeg.
Wow.
Bombers a home dog here?
Are the Bombers favored?
That's going to be a near pick 'em, isn't it? Like, that's going to be a pretty tight line.
That's kind of what I'm thinking right now. We'll go pick 'em.
I think it's going to be pick 'em. Edmonton on the road in Toronto. Toronto coming off a bye week.
Toronto -6.5.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was at on this one. And then this would be interesting. The rematch of the Ticats and Riders.
In Saskatchewan.
Riders by a field goal on the opening line, you think?
I think it'll be more. I think it'll be Riders -4.5.
All right. Well, we'll find out tomorrow. We will find out tomorrow on these. Man, that was a wild game last night, though. Just watching it, it's just like, they drive the field. I tweeted out, I was like, this is an amazing game, but have they given Bo Levi Mitchell too much time? And then Bo passes it to Tim White, and Tim White has had a rough start to the season. And that one bounces off of him up into the air, and it's game over. Like, that was crazy.
I invoked the name of Rory McIlroy for Tim White when that happened. Like,
don't you ever go full McIlroy, Tim White. Ever. That's the last thing you want to do.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Just before we go, I guess I might have been looking in the wrong spot here. Jake has said that the lines are up. Let's see how close we are.
Oh, they are up.
These,
really? I didn't see that.
Neither did I. I think I need to refresh here.
I don't see them anywhere. Jake, reline to us. There they are. There they are.
Football.
All right, here we are, Huss. Here they are. Montreal Alouettes by a touchdown, 7 points.
7, okay. A little bit more.
The Bombers, 1.5-point home favorites. So close to the pick 'em. Toronto, what did we say for that one? What were we around?
I said Toronto 6.5.
Yeah, it's 6. It's at 6. And then the Riders, right between where we were saying, I was saying a field goal, it's 3.5. 3.5 for the Riders at home. So there we go. We'll see where those lines move. We'll give you some picks a little bit later on in the week
I'll
on
say
that front.
If you want to take BC,
now is the time.
I would suggest this is the time to do it, getting a point. I think this is going to close around a pick 'em. Especially Brady Oliveira wasn't at practice today. And Kenny Lawler's not going to be back. We'll see. And I mean, they lost a bunch of guys on the defensive line. Like, this is going to be, I mean, keep in mind, Hamilton was a 1-point favorite when the line came out. They closed it as a 2.5-point dog. I wouldn't be surprised if something similar happens with this Winnipeg BC game and line, depending on how things go this week. So there's your tip. If you do like BC in that game against Winnipeg, I'd suggest the sooner you get in, the better number you're going to get.
What's coming up on Winnipeg Sports Talk, buddy?
Well, I mean, more U.S. Open talk. Reed Fowler's going to jump on from PGA Tour Live. Haven't talked to Reed in a while. We've got the latest on the Bombers and the CFL with Jeff Hamilton. The Sea Bears I've seen Matt Hyman.
They've released the MVP.
Teddy Allen got cut after going 39-5-5 yesterday. So there's a press conference going on while we're on the air.
Wait, he went 39-5-5 and got cut?
Yeah.
Oh, what's going on there? That's a fun story.
Exactly.
Whatever's going on there.
He's a weird dude, though. Like, at one point last year, it looked like he was going to kill a couple of his teammates on the court. And people that were at the game yesterday said that there was apparently someone said Byron Mullins went over to the owner and said, he's either gone or I'm out of here. It was like a bit of a mutiny, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether they expected this to happen, and that's why they signed
the other guy,
that was number 2 last year. But Teddy, I think there's a lot going on between the ears on Teddy. He's done some bizarre Instagram lives as well. Like, if you're following, like, what's Teddy Buck doing? So, listen, someone else I'm sure will sign him. The guy gets buckets, but I think from a team perspective, there's a lot going on. So, anyways, we'll have some more on that. And Sean Reynolds is going to join us from the Cup final down in Florida as well. So we'll talk a little Oilers Panthers as we get closer to Game 5 tomorrow.
Excellent, buddy. We'll talk to you tomorrow, man. There you go. That is us from Winnipeg Sports Talk. Right here on the Lock Shop. A couple of things to get to on the Lock Shop right now. It is the $100,000 hole-in-one. Have the key word for you. So get those text and thumbs ready. If you're watching over on YouTube, you can text. If you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, you can fire us those text messages as well. And it's all brought to you by Golf Town. Buy one, get one free. Yes, free on Srixon golf balls. That's an unreal deal. That's real nice. They got a lot of summer deals available right now over at Golf Town as well. And, of course, you can't go wrong with the gift card, Golf Town gift card. The gift that fits, man. It just it does. Check out their 2 stores here in Edmonton. The keyword on the Lock Shop today is ping. Text ping to 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. One of you will be our qualifier from the Lock Shop today. You go into a draw with 3 others, and one of the 4 of you will end up winning a swing at $100,000 with EST. That sounds nice, doesn't it? Text ping right now to 780-218-9999. And hey, the double text contest right at the end of the Lock Shop today, because we also have a qualifier for that VIP table to the Sunday show at the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival. Alley Cat, our partners, we teamed up with them. 6 O'Clocker Lager will be one of the few exclusive beers that Alley Cat is bringing to the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival. If you've not yet tried the 6 O'Clocker Lager, you are missing out. Pick up some birdie booze along the way as well. But we got that VIP table to the Sunday show. Bert Kreitzer, Whitney Cummings. It's going to be a great way to wrap up that event that also features Shane Gillis and Kevin Hart Friday and Saturday. Andrew Schultz in there on Friday as well. Heck of a weekend of comedy coming up. And we will take a qualifier right now. Just text VIP, text VIP right now, VIP to 780-218-9999. So ping to get in on the golf and the $100,000 hole-in-one. and VIP if you want to get a VIP table to the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival. Oil Stream coming up. 1 day away from Game 5. Can the Edmonton Oilers make it 2 in a row to stay alive? Myself and Tommy Gazzola will get into that coming up here on EST. If you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, you get Whale and the Wolf for about 3 minutes. Oil Stream fired up here just afternoon. If you're watching on YouTube, turn on the autoplay, and I'll take you right on over to the Oil Stream as we discuss the Oilers' huge win in Game 4 and what does it all mean. We will get to that as we work our way into the Oil Stream here at noon. For Huss and our partners over at Coolbet, I'm Nielsen. Good luck tonight. We'll talk to you tomorrow.